Preparing the dough for flaky layers. Pain au chocolat starts with a laminated dough similar to croissants. Begin by mixing flour, sugar, salt, yeast, and milk to form a smooth dough. Knead until elastic, then refrigerate for at least an hour. This allows the gluten to develop and makes rolling easier. Meanwhile, prepare a butter block by flattening cold butter between parchment paper. Chilling both the dough and butter is essential for creating distinct flaky layers during lamination. Laminating the dough with butter. Lamination is the process of folding butter into the dough to create layers. Roll the chilled dough into a rectangle and place the butter block in the center. Fold the dough over the butter, sealing the edges. Roll it out again and fold it into thirds, like a letter. Repeat this rolling and folding process at least 3 times, chilling the dough in between. This step ensures the characteristic light, flaky texture of pain au chocolat. Shaping the classic pain au chocolat. Once the dough is fully laminated, roll it into a large rectangle about 1/4 inch thick. Cut it into equal strips, each about 3 inches wide and 6 inches long. Place 2 small chocolate bars or chocolate sticks near one end of each strip. Roll the dough tightly over the chocolate, tucking it neatly to form a compact log. The final roll should have the seam facing down to prevent unrolling during baking. Proofing the dough for maximum fluffiness. Proper proofing is crucial for achieving the signature airy texture. Arrange the rolled pastries on a baking sheet, leaving space between them. Cover lightly with a damp cloth and let them rise in a warm, draft-free place for about 2 hours. The dough should puff up and feel light when gently touched. Avoid overproofing, as this can cause the layers to collapse, resulting in a dense, less flaky pastry. Applying an egg wash for a golden finish. A rich golden crust is achieved with an egg wash. Whisk an egg with a splash of milk or water and gently brush it over the risen pastries. Be careful not to press too hard, as this can deflate them. The egg wash enhances both the color and crispness, creating a glossy, bakery-style finish. For an extra indulgent look, a second coat of egg wash can be applied just before baking. Baking the pastries to perfection. Preheat the oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit, 190 degrees Celsius, and bake the pastries for about 18 to 20 minutes, or until they are golden brown. The high heat helps the layers puff up while the butter inside melts, creating the signature crisp, flaky texture. Rotate the baking sheet halfway through for even browning. The irresistible aroma of buttery pastry and melted chocolate signals that your homemade pain au chocolat is ready to enjoy. Cooling the pastries before serving. Although it's tempting to eat them straight from the oven, it's best to let the pastries cool for at least 10 minutes. This allows the layers to set and the chocolate to firm up slightly. A perfectly baked pain au chocolat should have a crisp, flaky exterior with soft, slightly stretchy layers inside. The chocolate should remain slightly melted but not runny, creating the ideal contrast of textures. Choosing the right chocolate for authentic flavor. Traditional pain au chocolat uses dark chocolate with a cocoa content of around 55 to 70%. This provides a rich, slightly bitter contrast to the sweet, buttery dough. Chocolate sticks, known as batons de chocolat, are preferred because they melt evenly without oozing out during baking. If unavailable, use chopped chocolate bars, ensuring the pieces are evenly sized for consistent melting. Storing and reheating for freshness. Freshly baked pain au chocolat is best enjoyed the same day, but leftovers can be stored in an airtight container at room temperature for up to 2 days. To restore crispness, reheat in a 300 degrees Fahrenheit, 150 degrees Celsius, oven for about 5 minutes. Avoid microwaving, as it makes the pastry chewy instead of flaky. For longer storage, freeze unbaked pastries and bake them fresh whenever a craving strikes. Enjoying a French bakery experience at home. Making pain au chocolat from scratch takes time, but the result is well worth the effort. With delicate, buttery layers and rich melted chocolate, this pastry brings the taste of a Parisian bakery right to your kitchen. Serve warm with a cup of coffee or hot chocolate for an authentic French breakfast experience. Once you master the technique, you'll never want store-bought versions again.